let's see, I guess I was always moving as a child, and my mother loved to dance, and my father didn't, so my mother would drag me to dances at the VFW, the Veterans for Foreign War building, and she would drag me there, and we would go dancing, and then she would, let's go learn country dancing. We would go learn country dancing, and then we would learn square dancing. And so I would always go dancing with my mother, and always loved it. You know, the little 10-year-old, I had my first feeling of stardom, you know, because they would let the little 10-year-old dance by himself. And then I saw a TV show called Solid Gold. So I always liked to dance, but never thought of it as a career. And so I told my mother that I wanted to learn that kind of dancing. And she said, you should learn ballet because it's the basis for all dancing. So I was like, all right, okay. So I went to my first class and I was obsessed because it was difficult. It was like mathematical. It was, and I just really got obsessed with the perfection of it. And then just stuck with that. So that's how I became a dancer. And I think what really clicked it was when I was 16. It was my 16th birthday. My mother got tickets to go see Baryshnikov dance, but I got caught shoplifting that afternoon, and she said, we'll tell your father after the ballet, because she knew I wouldn't be allowed to go, because then I saw Baryshnikov dance, and he did a double assemblée turn in the air, and I remember seeing that, and I remember after the show, I was like, no, that's what I want to do with my life, Mom. Well, I think for me, the big thing that changed when I went to Frankfurt, looking at ballet, starting so late, and it was a lot of imitation. My teachers were like, just imitate. You know, that's how I started. They was like a beginner, but they would put me in the professional classes in the front row. You dance next to the principal dancer and just imitate what you see. So, which I think is why dancers nowadays are better, because they can look at YouTube and imitate and watch. So much of it's from imitation. When I was a student, everyone was passing around that videotape of Baryshnikov and Gelsey Kirkland. Have you seen it? You know, like it was so rare to get to see something. And you learn a lot from that. So I think when I went to Frankfurt Ballet, for me it became more than just positions. I was always trying to perfect positions, the perfect attitude, the perfect da-da-da. And I didn't understand that I was describing space. And I think William Forsythe's work is what we've been working on in the improv class, is it's all based on the Laban method of describing space. That it's like, I always say like we're like super advanced mime technicians, you know? Instead of doing that, I'm describing a curve, I'm describing counter curves, multiple complex descriptions at the same time. And once I started doing all these describing with my elbows and stuff, suddenly I was like, but wait, that's what ballet is. That's what a rond de jambe is. I'm describing. And then my ballet went from this tight, okay dancer to became much, much better. It just freed everything up. And I find that when I teach classes, people get stuck on what the perfect position is, like how I was not taught, because I had great teachers. It was my own thing of thinking that's what it was about. And you see that, you see then people grow, and it just becomes much freer. So I think I want to pass that along a lot. And also I think something that Jan Faber said to me when he first met me, and why he said he liked working with me so much, he said, because everything seems so important, so precise, but then so unimportant. And you do it at the exact same time. There's like this clarity, but a freedom to it, you know? And so I try to pass that on. Like, don't be so hard on yourself. Be precise, but also laugh at yourself and the humor of it all and the silliness of it all. So I try to pass that on. Often I'll work with younger students where I'll do an improv class or something, and then maybe we'll do like a showing or something. And, or even when I'm working with professional dancers and they want to ask, you know, people get excited about, oh, you know, what's his career like? What was it like? So I always say that there's three things that I always remind myself before I go on stage, and that I've learned from different directors. And one is, if you make a mistake, then you do it with style. Yeah. Forsythe used to call me sometimes in the middle of the night, oh, the new company, people are falling. When you fell, you did it 3 times, so it looked like choreography. So there's a way where you're making a mistake and you're making it elegant. You're doing it with style. If you're completely lost, just improvise and survive. You know, that's a Suzanne Farrell thing. She's falling off point. She's so musical. She improvises and turns a step, and as Forsyth would say, dance your way out of it. So improvise and survive. And the last one I always say is right before I step on stage, I go, fuck what the director wants. And not as a disrespect for what they have been questioning, but to give me a kind of freedom. I learned that from Vivienne de Monk, a famous Belgian actress.